When boxers like these
Goes! Martin! For one of the announcing teams, good hook! And Rodriguez. Oh!
have their own shortcomings.
And by Garcia. And now, Garcia forced. Pacquiao with the right hand.
This is every boxing star's weakness. Adrian Broner. Broner shows great potential to one day top the pound-for-pound rankings, but he has yet to face a truly elite opponent. His lack of experience at the highest level keeps him at the bottom spot for now, and his aggression can sometimes work against him. He has made significant progress since his questionable decision win over Daniel Ponce de Leon. However, despite his incredible hand and foot speed, he often takes unnecessary punches. Just look at his fight against Manny Pacquiao for proof of this flaw.
Watch your hands, watch your hands.
Juan Manuel Marquez. Marquez has forgotten more about boxing than most people will ever know. His ability to recover from tough situations is almost superhuman, and he's widely regarded as one of the greatest counterpunchers in history. However, Marquez's brilliance hinges on his counterpunching. When opponents deny him opportunities to counter, he can appear ordinary. A perfect example is his fight against Floyd Mayweather, who gave him no openings and left Marquez unable to mount any meaningful offense. Before Marquez finally caught up with Joel Casamayor in 2008, he struggled to land clean punches while taking plenty of shots himself in the process. One of Marquez's main weaknesses is that he can be surprisingly easy to hit, and when he does get hit, it's often with significant force. Michael Katsidis managed to floor him, and Juan Diaz had him in serious trouble, pinning him on the ropes during their first fight.
I thought this was what we would see starting about the fourth round, but not in the first round.
And don't get me started when he does this.
When the training session ends, the gym empties quickly, and if Juan Manuel Marquez has shown himself to be a fighter who will go to any length to gain an edge, the conclusion of this day shows just how far. He drinks his own urine.
Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao's biggest weakness is his tendency to be easy to hit, even though he has excellent footwork and impressive agility. Usually, he makes up for this by being such an aggressive and dynamic attacker that his opponents can't sustain an effective offense. Still, he does absorb his fair share of punishment. Who could forget the infamous knockout delivered by Marquez? It was a moment that shocked the boxing world. Everyone thought Pacquiao had the fight under control. Then, with just 10 seconds left in the round, everything changed.
Pacquiao with the right hand.
Gervonta Davis. Standing at just 5 feet 5 inches, Davis faces a clear height disadvantage, which also limits his reach to only 67 inches. This physical limitation often challenges him against taller opponents, as seen in his bout with Frank Martin.
His ring IQ and his boxing skills, yes. It's not even so much of an exciting fight.
Davis sometimes falls into periods of passivity during his fights. Relying on his ability to deliver devastating, fight-ending punches, he often appears less focused on winning rounds on the judges' scorecards.
To figure Davis using the whole ring in boxing. Oh, he took a big left.
In his May 2022 fight against Rolly Romero, Davis gave away several early rounds. While few expected Romero to outbox him, Romero managed to secure those rounds simply by being the more active fighter in the ring, Ryan Garcia. The lowest point in Garcia's career came in January 2021 when he was dropped hard by Luke Campbell. That moment exposed Garcia's biggest flaw, his tendency to keep his body too upright and leave his chin dangerously exposed.
It seems like he wants to...
Left hand sends the kid down.
Despite his speed and technique, Garcia often throws punches and stands with his chin wide open. Against Campbell, this vulnerability led to Garcia getting hit with a powerful left hand after a careless jab. Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury revealed his mental weakness and lack of self-control once again by showing up for his second fight with Usyk, about 30 pounds heavier than his ideal fighting weight. His extra weight was clearly noticeable as it jiggled during the fight.
Waiting for the mistake.
If Fury had been lighter, he might have had a better chance of winning. He wasn't as quick on his feet as in previous fights and struggled to maintain his attack without tiring, especially in the last 3 rounds. His claims of being robbed after the fight also point to a mental weakness. He couldn't accept the reality of his loss and resorted to blaming others rather than acknowledging his performance.
I believe I won that fight. I believe he won a few of the rounds, but I won majority of them. And I believe it was, what can you do, one of them things, decisions in boxing. We both put on a good fight, best we could do. And, you know, his country's at war, so people are siding with the country at war. But make no mistake, I won that fight in my opinion.
In the past, Fury showed impressive physical ability, but struggled with mental toughness. His weight would balloon to over 300 pounds. He battled with drug use, and he repeatedly retired and unretired. On top of that, his reckless comments to the press often lacked consideration for the consequences. Tyson Fury has the potential to be an all-time great heavyweight, but his mental weaknesses have held him back. With a stronger mindset to match his physical talents, he could have achieved even more in the sport. Devin Haney. Many believe Haney's biggest weakness is his lack of punching power. However, what's often seen as his greatest strength could also be his biggest vulnerability. Haney's jab is undoubtedly his best weapon, but it does have a flaw that Ryan Garcia might be able to exploit. When Haney throws his jab, he has a habit of dropping his right hand, which leaves his chin open to a potential left hook.
Aggressive, get overconfident. Big left hand by Garcia.
Haney's defensive awareness and quick movement after throwing the jab have kept this flaw from being exploited so far. However, a fighter with fast hands, a powerful left hook, and excellent timing could potentially land that crucial blow. George Kambosos Jr. In his fight with Lomachenko, Kambosos revealed several weaknesses in his defense. These flaws ultimately led to a turning point in the later rounds of the fight.
Maybe next week, now the Rock.
And Devin Haney has actually observed this. There are many ways, there are many holes, and different ways we can beat him. But the one game plan we have, we really feel like it will work. I'm not going to sit here and let him know exactly the holes I see. What would be the point in that? Vasily Lomachenko. Loma's biggest weakness is his tendency to start slow. If only the last 6 rounds of his fights were scored, he might be undefeated. However, the first 6 rounds count just as much, and waiting until the second half to get aggressive has often cost him. This slow start may also explain why he was knocked down by Jorge Linares. He's also vulnerable when he's pinned on the ropes. While he uses a high guard for defense, if you limit his movement and trap him, he can get into trouble. However, this doesn't happen often because he's tough to get close to and even harder to trap on the ropes. Terence Crawford. Crawford is known to be a slow starter. At times, he can be open to taking punches, and when he does get hit, he doesn't always react well. There's a real possibility that a big puncher could catch him off guard, especially early in a fight. Just look at when John Molina landed a shot on him in their bout. Crawford was visibly stunned.
6 times by John Molina.
Yeah, and I didn't see those 6 shots.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. It's hard to find a weakness in the best fighter on the planet, Floyd Mayweather. If there's anything to criticize, it's his offense. He doesn't have a lot of power, and at 47, he doesn't put together the dazzling combinations he used to. While his defense is so solid that he rarely gets hit, one could argue that he might have a slightly suspect chin. DeMarcus Corley was able to trouble him years ago. Since then, the only fighter to land a clean shot on Mayweather's head was Shane Mosley, and Mayweather didn't react well to the punch. However, he recovered quickly and dominated the rest of the fight, but that moment may have raised a question about his chin.
Floyd rolls his shoulder.
So, which boxing star's weakness do you think is the most accurate? Please share your thoughts down below.